Now, what would normally happen in an anime is when an average person evolves and experiences skills along his journey and eventually becomes a legendary hero. However, in this episode, we will be talking about the complete opposite. The moment when the legendary hero turns into trash, garbage, a nobody. And that is why for today we'll be talking about the top 10 anime where the hero becomes a zero. But before we begin, be sure to hit the subscribe button and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. But coming up at number 10 is Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero. Now, this show is one of the best examples of what the life of a past hero could end up as. Max, the hero in question, finally, after countless encounters, sacrifices, and battles, was finally able to defeat the Demon Lord along with his party and end his reign of terror. Just one eensy-beensy teeny tiny little problem though. 10 years later, the Demon Lord was back, and the threat of his tyranny came back with him as a cute little lolly. But who cares about the minor details, right? Or about the hot assistant Xenia. Hubba hubba. But anyways, we are here about Max, who got sloppy over the years, becoming a deadbeat alcoholic to boot. Mao now is going to bring Max's life and physique back into shape so that they can have their epic showdown once more. It's practically like how Goku gives his opponent a Zenzu bean, and we all know how dumb of an idea that is. Coming up at number 9 is The Devil is a Part-Timer. We all know just how legendary the comedy of this anime is and how it surprised everyone the year it debuted. And its return for another season was an even bigger shock for the fans of the series. So it comes as a no-brainer to talk about this show and how its hero went from hero to zero. After following Sato into the human world, Yusa Emi lost all her powers as a consequence. And what happens next was even worse. Just like Sato Emi had to find a job as a commoner in order to earn a living and have a life. Even though she lost her powers, she is still heaven-bent on killing Sato, mind you. The question is how she will do it exactly when a simple injury could have her bleeding and crying from pain. Coming in number 8 is Helck. The last thing any human can ever expect is the fact that a human hero not only switches to the evil side, oh no, the hero decides to become the new Demon Lord himself. And what is even weirder is when the tournament for choosing the next Demon Lord is held. Helck is actually the best contender of said tournament, something Vimirio will never allow to happen. A human on the demon throne? That's a new one. And what is his dream, you might ask? Well, it's to destroy all of humanity, of course. Don't be fooled by his scary bulkiness though, just Google his image in the apron while cooking and you will realize that he is as cuddly and kind as a teddy bear. That killed his own brother, but hey, that's a story for another day. The interactions between Helck and Vimirio are just pure comedy that will have you rolling on the floor. However, be mindful that this anime isn't tragedy-free at all and will cause you at some point to shed tears and cry like a little baby. Oh, and just heads up for the dog scene, it will make you guys unable to breathe just from laughter. Coming on number 7 is The Legendary Hero is Dead. Well, this doesn't technically speaking count as a hero to zero kind of scenario, but somehow it still does. And that's why it counts here. The powerful hero that is dedicated to saving the world from evil and seal the demon gates is killed off by some common farmer trap with a thigh fetish. And his pathetic attempt to cover up the hero's death and make it look like he is MIA fails spectacularly. And not just that, the necromancer from the party of the dead hero takes the body of Toka hostage and places his conscience into the body of the hero, reanimating it. The antiques of Toka aren't gone, however, and eventually, sooner or later, someone is going to notice that the hero is somewhat acting weird. It's going to be either that or the literal corpse that is decaying, whichever comes first. I am pretty sure it's going to be a spectacle to watch. At number 6, we had The Vampire Dies in No Time. Just a friendly reminder, don't be fooled by how gritty and epic the trailer seems, cause it couldn't be any further from the truth. For starters, Dralek is so damn weak he is the equivalent of Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson movie reference for you. And anything, no matter how simple or slight, whether it was physical or emotional, like a jump scare could have him turn into ash instantly. I mean, sure, he does resurrect later on, but still, Ronald killed him from a clap. A freaking clap. But hey, I can let all the niche, weird, sometimes perverted comedy go just for one reason. And that one reason that carries the whole series is, drumroll please, John the freaking cuddly cute tiny little furball. I mean, come on. You just can't not admit that this little furball is just the cutest thing ever. Especially when he cries over Dralic turning to ash, which happens quite a lot, I might add. But seriously, speaking the hero here is just going on with his days, living with Dralic and enjoying his video games. That's pretty much it honestly is, but still, John is the GOAT! And coming in at number 5 is Ojisan in Another World. From the hero and savior of the land to the weird uncle that woke up from a coma whose nephew thinks is crazy. I mean, who can blame the kid, honestly? If my uncle woke up from a coma claiming to have been isekai'd and had gained powers on his journey, I would personally place him in an asylum. However, this Ojisan was the real deal, and throughout the days he recapped his own story to his nephew and what he did during his comatose. The hero is then reduced to nothing but a YouTube magician special effects kind of one-man show and occasionally the super duper uber fast delivery that buys outdated Sega Dreamcast games since back before he was out of it. The ever-famous console wars was still raging on. Coming in at number 4 is Banished from the hero's party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Well, he isn't much of a hero, but still he kinda is since he is the older brother of the hero and her guide and companion along her journey. At least he was all that until the sage and their party kicked him out, stripped him of all his items, and left him with nothing but a copper sword to his name. He took everything from him. However, Red saw this as a blessing to finally pursue his dream and open his own apothecary someday. Enter the voluptuous and hot heroine that becomes his live-in assistant. This dream of his is going to take a while, but he will realize it at some point in time. And coming in at number 3 is Akashic Records of Magic Instructor. Glenn Raiders, the magician prodigy and graduator of the Magical Academy in 2 years. He used to be a powerful magician's assassin codenamed the Fool. His abilities are next to none, and his skills as a teacher in tutoring his class about multiple ways to say a chant and use a simple spell like Fireball effectively, trading in his reputation for a simple daily job, is exactly what he did in order to have a somewhat normal life. Coming in at number 2 is Noragami, the Shrineless God of War. I believe this is more than enough to explain the situation, don't you agree? He prefers to do petty jobs for even less money. He is a weird god to say the least, but just one thing. But one thing no one knew about Yato is that he is one hell of a skilled swordsman. Yeah, can you imagine it? This weird happy-go-lucky deity that seems easy going off 90% of the time is actually a very powerful and proficient swordsman when it comes to battles. He is a veteran and knows what he's doing. And number 1 goes to the Legend of the Legendary Heroes. He is the user of the Alpha Stigma eyes, the eyes said to be equivalent to calamity and death. Especially if you take in note the fact that those eyes drove everyone that ever had them to complete madness and ended up killing him. All but one, that is. This character is the only one that was able to use its powers without the precautions of falling mad or being destroyed by it. He is the first ever to survive and reach adulthood with these eyes. In fact, his case is so rare he became a legend that brought fear and terror into his enemies' hearts just by existing. Now, that is one hell of a powerful main character, don't you guys think? And with that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it for you. Also, I would appreciate it if you guys would like, share, comment down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe on your way out. It would really help us out. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.